Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's see how we're doing on the doorways here. We've got a few things to process this morning, unfortunately. So give me a second. Let me pop the chat out of the Rumble page here and get it over here in front of my face where I like it to be. And then we'll select that chat in Open Broadcaster under where it says Rumble chat. Rumble chat. And we'll select the correct new one, which is that. That puts the chat up there. And there's Karen. Hello, Karen. Very good. You got the first chat up there. Very good. Okay. And this says we've got 3 viewing across the other channels. Excellent. Oh, Ryan Bessling is here, everybody. Ryan Bessling. What's up, buddy? Hello, Ryan. Hello, hello. I never heard back from our friend yesterday or 2 days ago, the guy that came in and said he was spamming. Lawrence Skinnerton says, no surprise. What, that Isr4el over 100 G4zans waiting in food line? No, and you know what? That's the sad part now, is that we're getting so numb that when something like this happens, Lawrence, there's no reaction. I mean, I was talking about it with my mom this morning, and she sides with Israel on all this, I was talking to her about it, and I said, Mom, did you hear I didn't hear the number of people, but I just briefly heard that I saw a headline, Israel slaughtered a bunch of people standing in a food line, and she had already seen it. Hey, Asa, good morning. She had already seen it. And I said, yeah, they killed a bunch of people. And she didn't bother mentioning that it was over 100 people, my mom. Why? Because she's desensitized. It doesn't mean anything. That amount of bodies doesn't mean anything because she is so indoctrinated in it. If my mom can be indoctrinated like that, I guarantee you because she's a very smart woman. But she succumbs to the narrative. And there's a lot of smart people out there. They've got brain worms now. And it's sad because they can do a math problem. They can figure out how to solve complex issues. But all of a sudden, when it comes to this one thing, their brain just completely shuts down and stops working. Here, let me close this door. Give me a second here. It's like when your kid does something wrong and the parents ignore it, Hey, hippie chick. Oh, what's up, all ladies on the Rumble? That's awesome. It's like when when the neighbor's child does something and you go to the parents and the parents are just in complete denial about the behavior of their child and they do nothing. Tommy Walker. Hello, Tommy Walker. I hope Ryan Bessling, I'm sorry guys, I'm hiccuping, Lawrence Skinnerton, Tommy Walker all decide to stay and watch the show while I'm sitting here with the hiccups. I've got a vicious case of the hiccups. High pleasures, hello, high pleasures. Yes, we smoked the cannabis up in this bitch. That's what we're going to do right now. But before we do, what is this? My phone came into contact with something. I put up a retaining fence for my dog. And it was very simple and easy and inexpensive. And it's something that's probably could end up saving the dog's life, prevent him from running out in front of a car or from being euthanized because he goes out and kills somebody else's dog. We had an incident this morning where he ran out before I had the fence up, He ran out, chased a couple of deer, but luckily my wonderful and amazing fiance was standing out on the driveway and she caught him. It was awesome. It was awesome. She's like my superhero today. What a shit show killing all those people. I mean, it's more than a shit show. A shit show is Jimmy Dore's podcast. You're minimizing this. Just like my mom is, by not mentioning how many people got killed. You're minimizing it. It's not a shit show. It's fucking genocide. Why don't you call genocide what genocide is? It's the word genocide. It's not a shit show. It's genocide. Why can't we? And I'm going to tell you why. Because we all play these little games with our narratives, you know? You don't want to say the actual words. Say the words. It's a motherfucking genocide. They're killing everybody. They're killing people standing in line. They chase them all to Rafah, and then they say, we're going to attack Rafah now. We're going to kill a bunch of people standing in line. 100 people dead. And you know what? It's probably more than 100. I don't know what the exact number is. Hey, there's a hippie chick over there on the YouTube as well. She's double watching over there. High Pleasures was a ass swipe, I guess. Whatever. You know, you want to sit there and enjoy the cannabis with me, you're going to have to take a little bit of reality in simultaneously. You know, or we're not going to be able to hang out. You know, we're not living in fantasy land here. You know, I'm not going to sit here and act like my life is all peachy keen when I know that there's children suffering anywhere on the planet. I can't do that. I can't just play dumb anymore. It's fun. It feels good, you know? But if you like looking at yourself in the mirror at some point, you're going to start looking pretty ugly to yourself. At least if you have a conscience, you will. And I know I have a conscience. So I'm out in front of this thing. You know, before anyone else is, I'm here to tell you that this is beyond criminal. This goes beyond criminal. These are war crimes, which is absolute. It doesn't get any uglier than fucking war crimes when you think about it. War crimes against children. It doesn't get any uglier. $63,125, and I could give a shit. You know, why can't I have nice things? Because fucking Benjamin Netanyahu. That's why. You know, it was him. He was the one. It was this one guy. He deserves a to the brain. That's what he fucking deserves. And we all sit by, we stand around, and we watch this happening. I mean, this must be frustrating for y'all too, right? It's not just me. Is it frustrating for y'all when the news this just kind of seeps into your lives that you try to seal it all out of? You don't want to know what's going on. I know how that works. I get to watch it every morning. He's a lunatic? Yeah. And so are the people who sit silently by as he commits genocide against innocent children that he hates because they're born on another side of a fucking fence that he put up. Well, you know, keep at it. You think anti-Semitism is bad now? Keep at it. Keep doing it. You're going to ruin it for everybody. You're not going to be satisfied until every single human being on this planet despises you and wants to see you gone. You're not going to be satisfied, will you? It's like you're longing for it. You just want to do it. It's almost like he's a self-loathing, you know? You do realize you're not protecting anybody. What you're doing is you're creating more war, more terrorists, and you're creating a lot more anti-Semitism around the world. How is that helping anything? Your little piece of shit patch in the desert is more important than the rest of the goddamn planet? No, it's not. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's not that important. Sorry, it's not number one on my list. And I guarantee you it's at the bottom of a lot of other people's lists. So there's some new science has come out, some new studies on people that, you know, decided to not get the... Instead, they got the long version, right? And they're studying those people. You know what they're finding out? That it's even worse than they ever expected. That the people that get the long C, we'll call it, they have cognitive difficulties now. 14%. 14%. have a hard time just common sensing through shit now. Basic stuff. Name as many animals as you can, and they stop, and their brains stop working. They can't think of any more animals. Think about that. Imagine if someone asked you to name as many animals as you could, and you just fucking stopped. I mean, how many fucking animals do you know of? You can't name them? That's what happens to your brain, guys. That's your brain when you don't get and you get the C. That's what happens. Now, if you watch Jimmy Dore and you think he cares about you, he's been lying to you and telling you natural immunity, natural immunity, natural immunity, natural immunity. That's a fucking lie. Now we know it. I don't care what kind of immunity you think you have. Once you get this thing, down the road, you might not be able to think clearly anymore. Do you want that? You want to drive around with a real thick pair of sunglasses over your eyes all the time that you can never take off? You know, earmuffs on so you can barely hear? That's what cognitive difficulty feels like. And, you know, you might question the source or whatever. It's just a human being on my Twitter video. It's just a human being reading studies that have come out. And those studies are available for all of you. And if any of you question the source, you can go research the studies yourselves. They're on the internet. Anybody can go look that up. Don't be so quick to shoot something down and say it's not valid until you go and research it yourself. And I implore all of you to go research that. Why? Because you might have a bad problem with this, and it's avoidable. It's something that can be avoided. You know, oh, but I want to be free. Oh, I want to live my life in freedom. Yeah, but I don't want to live my life in 20 years and have cognitive difficulties because I wanted to be free today. You know, because I wanted to go breathe in a whole bunch of strangers' air. So you've been listening to Jimmy Dore. You've been listening to all these other right-wing morons out there. And I'm here to tell you, they don't care about you. They claim they're worried about their freedom, and that's fair. That's fair to say that you're worried about your freedom. But, you know, they're going about this all the wrong way. And it's very important that you sit down and you pay attention, and that when you question something, you get on the internet and research it yourself. Go find the study and go look it up. Don't stay in wonderment about it. It's so easy to just go get the data. When somebody tells you something, you've got the Google, it's right in your hand. Go look it up. You'll find that information. And remember, when someone's telling you information like this, what's their game? What's their gain? What's their angle? What's the benefit to someone, a random person, putting up something on the internet to give you information to try to save your life because they cared enough about you to put that information out there? How do they gain anything from that? I wonder, you know, what's the angle? Oh, that's right, there is no angle. It's just somebody trying to save your life. And that's me. I'm just trying to save your lives, everybody. I'm trying to save all your lives. I'm trying to prevent you from getting something that some moron like Jimmy Dore didn't think twice about running out and getting. Because, you know, he didn't worry about the science. He didn't care about what doctors say. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else. Well, I know. I'm the first person to admit that I'm not smarter than doctors. I'm not smarter than science. Hey, man, I may have gotten one thing right yesterday, and that's it. I got one thing right. That was pretty good, though. It was pretty good. You're watching. It was pretty good. I debunked that entire study on cannabis. It was amazing. Yeah, we'll get into that. So there was a stupid study on cannabis, you know, study. It wasn't a study. It was just a review of numbers to try to correlate things to fit someone's narrative for some specific reason. I don't care what the fucking reason is. I'm just going to tell you it was all bullshit. This is what they claimed. They claimed that there was a correlation, a link, if you will. This is what people were saying, a link between heart disease, heart disease, stroke, and cannabis use. And I did this for a little while on the show yesterday, and I just came up with, hey, is it possible that people, when they're sicker, they use more cannabis? You know, we're finding higher incidence of heart damage and higher incidence of stroke with higher uses of cannabis. Could it just be that those people that are feeling down and sick are smoking more cannabis to make themselves feel better? Do you know what else they said in that stupid fucking study? They said there's absolutely no connection and nothing that they could prove. They just saw the correlation. You know what I compared it to? Oxygen. I was like, there's oxygen present in all of those sicknesses. Maybe it's the oxygen's poisoned. Yes, I debunked the cannabis very well. Thank you. The cannabis study. Yes, it wasn't a study. Because it wasn't a study. I did the study. I was the one that did the research and figured it all out. They, doctors, MDs, and whatever the fuck goddamn 3 letters they got after their fucking name, all those people, not as smart as me? I'm smarter than scientists and doctors? No, those people are smarter than me. They're lying because they're getting paid to lie. They're intentionally doing it because they're getting paid. That's what they're doing. They make money if they can correlate cannabis to this. And we all lose because it's not true and it's a lie. Everyone loses. So, not the smartest guy in the world, but hey, I got that one right. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, you should trust every word I say and whatever. What I'm telling you is, man, that sounds pretty good. You can go investigate it for yourselves. Now, I put it up on Twitter, and it's there for all of you to go watch. There's a video of some girl speaking about some studies, reviewing some studies. That's all. And you can go and you can find those studies. Because when she mentions numbers of people or what they were researching, you can just type in what they're researching and these studies will pop right up. I've done this plenty of times. It's not hard to find. So next time you see someone on TikTok or Twitter or wherever, yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know what neuropathogenicity, I don't know what that means. Right, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what neuropathogenicity means. And if it came from the National Library of Medicine, who did the study? Who funded it, Who funded that study? So if anybody wanted to question the studies that were up on that Twitter this morning, you can go research that. And just like we can go research this study. So the study that this person was talking about on my Twitter this morning, she said that they gave people cognitive tests. That sounds like definite evidence to support direct neuropathogenicity of SARS-CoV-2. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like evidence. I mean, what is the evidence that there's no definite evidence? What's the evidence that there's no definite evidence? And what year was that posted? And what year was the study that this girl was reading on my Twitter? What year was that? Was that new study? So maybe the evidence exists now? Good. Go do the research. Go do the research. Find it. I will too. I mean, we could watch the video, but I'd have to close out YouTube. So, and probably Facebook too. And we could all watch from Rumble. But I don't really have enough people on Rumble to just kill all the other shows right now. February 2024. That's pretty recent.
Ben, I'm leaving, honey.
All right.
And,
have a great time. What was you came up with was from February 2024. Who said it? And what was the context? And what was the research? And did they have access to the research that this girl was obviously reading? Did they see that study? You know? Because I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kill all the YouTubes and shit. You guys come on over to Rumble. We're only gonna be broadcasting on Rumble right now. Look, if you can hear my voice right now, and hey, there's Randall. Look at that. And you're watching on Instagram, or you're watching on Facebook, or you're watching on YouTube, come on over to Rumble. I'll give you a link. We're gonna kill the show everywhere else. All right? I'm turning it off on all the other channels. And then we'll watch this video. Since, we're not allowed to have free speech anywhere else. All right? If you're watching, I see somebody's watching on Twitch, you're going to get disconnected. You're watching on YouTube, you're going to get disconnected. Facebook, you're getting disconnected. Telegram, you're getting disconnected. Rumble, you get to stay. Now, there's 5 people watching on YouTube, on my main YouTube channel. I don't know who the 5 of you are, but I just gave you a link. You guys come on over to Rumble, make an account, and you'll be able to watch the rest of the show. Meanwhile, Bitcoin just hit 63.4. We're going to keep watching Bitcoin going up over on Rumble. We'll see you on Rumble, guys. If you refuse to come to Rumble, you're going to miss the second half of the show. So, bye. Bye, guys. Seriously, bye. Odyssey, kick, off. The other YouTube channel, off.